I will never buy another cheap BMW ever again, and neither should you. That's what I've said after buying the cheapest BMW in my country. And after doing the same mistake 2 more times, I can finally say that I have learned something. And in this video I want to give you all the things I wish I knew earlier before buying a cheap BMW, basically. First off, if you're thinking about buying a BMW, don't make the same mistake I did. Don't just go out and search for the cheapest one available. Even though it might save you some money upfront, it will cost you in the long run. The thing is, these cheap BMWs are cheap for a reason. The first cheapest BMW in my country was a BMW E46 I've bought for 750 euros. But you know, this car had many issues. It needed all the brake lines renewed, the head gasket was blown, and the thing is, it had so much rust. So therefore I decided to sell it for parts. I've bought the cheapest BMW in my country for 600 euros. I take it! I don't have any money. But then I had to spend 2,000 to 3,000 euros in parts just to make it safe to drive. I could have easily bought a car for 1,500 euros, which was already safe to drive and ready to go, basically. But well, I just guess I wanted to rescue this car and the story of it. And the biggest issue of them all is that they don't get maintained very well. And this is actually pretty common on these cheap BMWs, so don't buy one. Different models have different typical issues. For the BMW E46, for example, the rear subframe mounts are prone to cracking. And this is pretty dangerous. If you're not sure what to look for, just bring someone with you who knows about these cars. You definitely don't want some problems to surprise you while driving. In my situation, I wanted to give it a try myself. So I had read about possible problems with BMW E46s. I focused on those, but I basically forgot about the other stuff, which is pretty typical to watch out for on other cars. And one thing I want you to have an eye open, especially when you live somewhere where the road gets salted in the winter, they rust out pretty fast. Especially here on the rocker panels, on the rear arch lines, and also on the rear subframe. Well, this car had rust, and it actually had a rust hole here on the checking point. This E39 also had rust here on the rocker panels, especially around the checking points. And my first BMW E46 also had rust, so these cars are actually pretty common to rust out. Sadly, not everyone takes care of their BMWs. Many folks just simply don't think about the insurance part or upkeep when owning a BMW. So therefore they just skip out fixing broken things on their BMWs just to save a buck or two. Just make sure the car you're having an eye on has a service history, so you know for a fact that the car got maintained or not. And if it didn't got maintained very good, just keep your hands off it. Trust me, you don't want to have these problems like I did. When you buy a BMW, make sure to calculate 1,000 to 2,000 bucks on top of the vehicle's price. You definitely should replace all of the fluids in your car and replace everything that's broken, so you don't have to worry about anything while driving with your beloved car daily. Now let's talk about some common issues along all the BMW models, like their cooling systems. BMW uses plastic in their cooling system, which get brittle over time and then causes a leak. And when you hear about BMW, you probably think of oil leaks as well. Yeah, oil and BMW don't like each other. If something goes wrong with your BMW, don't freak out. There are a bunch of tutorials online on YouTube, and actually also a few of me. So subscribe and I promise you will learn something about BMWs. You might be able to fix it yourself, or at least take it to somebody who knows about these cars and who you can trust. Don't let anyone take advantage of you. You know, I've been through that too. Being young and dumb, people think you're willing to spend loads of cash on your BMW. Really. But fixing your BMW is easier than it sounds. And I guess I'm the proof for that, because I'm no mechanic and I've basically started with fixing a BMW, and that with no knowledge at all. BMWs are made for a sheer driving experience, just as their slogan says. So don't leave yours sitting in a garage, just go and get out there and enjoy your car. This BMW E39 got neglected and parked away probably in a field, and it has been sitting there since 2016-ish. That's a shame because this is actually a quite good car. There were reasons for that this BMW E39 was the cheapest one available in my country. Basically it had so much rust, and I kinda knew that because, you know, I just wanted a project for YouTube purposes. Taking care of your BMWs, especially if it's an older model, is important because, you know, prices are basically getting higher each and every year. Make sure you keep up with maintenance tasks, just like repairing your cooling system or changing your oil. It will help keep your car running smoothly. Not everyone understands the passion for BMWs, so many people will judge you for driving a BMW. He's driving a BMW! But you know what? It's our car and we still love it, so don't let that bother you. Just enjoy the ride. And this is my BMW E46. I now own it for 4 years and I've covered approximately 40,000 kilometers on it. And let me say to you, I have enjoyed every single moment while driving it. Of course, it has its issues, but I really like it, man. And just being able to say that you drive a BMW just gives you a little bit more confidence. Even though I had to spend a lot of money on it, every single penny was worth it. And I would never sell this car. And I would be really happy if you would share all your BMW stories in the comments. You have said so many bad things about BMWs, Max. So why should I still buy one? You know, you just get a special connection to the road with these BMWs. And I can't really explain it, you just have to feel it. So go ahead and test drive any BMW and you know what I mean with that. Whether you're just going to get some groceries or making a road trip, once you have driven a BMW, you won't want any other car brand anymore.